Hello, my name is Sunny Mojonnier. I'm the 30th woman ever elected to serve in the state legislature. I was elected in 1982 and served until 1990. I represented San Diego. My district started at the Mexican border in the south and traveled 55 miles north up to the Carlsbad area. It also entailed Poway and the Penasquitos area, so I had a rather large district. As I got older, I was involved in the business that I owned, which was a flower growing and shipping operation, primarily agricultural things. And I was involved in issues like water delivery. We lived in the San Diego area. It's the most expensive water in the state of California. We had labor issues, we had pesticide issues, and I started going to Sacramento as a citizen lobbyist and got involved, did that for a couple of years, and then some of the legislators said, "We think you should run for office." When I campaigned for the first time, the thing that I loved, that I never thought I would, I absolutely loved walking precincts. And I have some of the funniest stories you can imagine about walking precincts. Some of them are embarrassing, actually. I walked up to one house and knocked on the door, and this fella comes to the door and he's got a t-shirt on that's too short for his belly, and I said, "I'm Sunny Mojonnier and I'm running for the 75th Assembly District, and I hope I can interest you in voting for me." And he opened his screen door and he reached out and gave me a big hug and said, "You're my girl." And I said, "Really, why?" And he said, "Because you're going to be a pubic servant." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Let me show you." And he showed me my brochure. And in looking at the brochure, the L had been left out of the word public. And it said that I was going to be a pubic servant. And so at that point I said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm very sorry." He said, "No, I'm voting for you and I'm just giving you a bad time, and come on." And he walked out the door with me in his bedroom slippers and his socks and his t-shirt that didn't cover his belly, and he walked around to about 15 houses with me and said, "Hi, I'm Joe, I live next door, and I want you to know this is who we got to vote for." It was a great time. I loved walking precincts. It was the best part of campaigning. I carried legislation to provide the reflectorized license plates that we have now in California, and that was because the Highway Patrol came to me and said, "We would like you to carry this bill." There was a time in San Diego when people came to my district office and said, "My children walked on needles on the beach. What are you going to do about it?" And I said, "Oh my God, I didn't know." And so we looked into it. And because of that, because a constituent came to me with a problem, I wrote a bill called the Medical Hazardous Waste Cleanup Act. It became the national model and has been used by all the other states. I don't know if I could say I had one particular one that was the most impactful piece of legislation. Every piece of legislation I cared a lot about. I always questioned if somebody else came to me about legislation. I questioned whether or not there was a good reason for it. I didn't frivolously present bills just to be putting more bills in. I wanted to know that what I was doing was going to make a positive impact on the people I represented and the people of the state of California. So I believe, honestly, in my heart of hearts, every piece of legislation that I carried was really impactful and was really important. We had a very special camaraderie because we were, as legislators, we left our homes in our district and we came to Sacramento and we formed a bond between us. And that bond was created because we became a family away from our real family. And so we were close, and it didn't matter if you were a Democrat or Republican. We all worked together, we socialized together, and that's why we were able to get good legislation passed in a way that was successful and didn't cause any consternation between the members. There were some things that were a little bit more difficult, but everybody worked together, and now I don't see that same type of camaraderie. I don't see that cohesiveness in what is going on today in the legislature. I don't know, because I don't look at things as obstacles. I think I'm one of those people that always raises their hand and says, well, I can do that. And what that means is that I never looked at anything as an obstacle. My dad always taught me there's more than one way to skin a cat, and you just go looking for the other ones, and that's what I did. If I couldn't get something done one way, I found another way to do it. If there wasn't the ability to accomplish something by going in this direction, I just changed directions. You know, you can't do anything about the winds, but you can sure adjust your sails. And so that's what I did. The thing that I would like to impart is it's not impossible. And don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. If you've got a husband and you ever had an argument, you can do the same thing I did. If you've got a brother that you never got along with and you argued with him all the time, you can do the same thing. All it is negotiation, arguing, feeling absolutely into and dedicated to what your belief is and willing to fight for it to the death. And that's what you do. You fight for it to the death. And I was supposed to play in the golf tournament at the governor's first golf tournament, and I didn't know. I'd never played golf before, and so as it turns out, all the different lobbyists, you're limited to what you can give as gifts. So a couple of them would go together and buy me a club. Well, they gave me a bunch of them, threw me a party, gave me a bunch of these clubs, and they all came in a box and they had plastic on them. And I was supposed to go to this golf tournament. It was the governor's and the press's golf tournament. And so I go to the golf tournament, and I don't know what you're supposed to wear, so I'm wearing pink shorts and a jacket and a ball cap, just like I got from the raceway when we had I forget the races that I went to, but it came from there. And I didn't know you're supposed to wear golf clothes. And I come with this box of golf clubs, and I jump out of my car with this box of golf clubs, and all these guys are looking at me with their mouth wide open. And Wing Fat, who's no longer with us but owns Fat's Restaurant, grabbed me by the hand and pulled me inside the club and bought me a golf bag to put all these clubs in. And we come back out with this golf bag, and here's all these guys pulling the plastic off of the golf clubs. So that was my experience with golf. I've not played golf since. Oh, absolutely, go for it. I think that, like I said before, if you can argue with your husband about something you believe in, if you ever argued with a sibling, if you have ever had to stand your ground, if you believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, I say go for it.